This is Business Report Nigeria, brought to you by your digital first Pan-African news network, TOS Television. I am Ruwa Panawo. The Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, has said the medium-term National Development Plan 2021 to 2025 would be directed at supporting the implementation of 9 priorities in eliminating poverty and job creation, which would be reviewed at month end. Yesterday, at the 19th Joint Planning Board, JPB in Abuja, represented by the Minister of State, Clem Ikona-Deagba, the minister said the priorities would include cultural and food security, driving industrialization, education and productivity, reducing poverty, and fighting corruption to improve governance. To achieve this, she assured the government will stabilize budget and expenditure by diversifying the economy and closing fiscal deficit. In total, the plan has been set to bring about better living conditions to Nigerians. Still over a week since the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, NCAA, suspended Azman Air over frequent incidents, and the authority is yet to have the audit report. Mr. Sam Aduroboye, spokesman of the NCAA, has said he is unsure of when the full audit would be ready. In his words, the idea behind the audit is to assist While this is happening, uncertainty looms among the airline staffers who are worried about the payment of this month's salary. Normally, the airline operates 15 daily flights to 10 locations within the country, with its B737 aircraft carrying an average of 100 to 130 passengers, which equals more than 1,500 passengers daily. This brings an average of 30,000 naira. The airline loses over 45 million naira daily and may have lost 500 million naira in the last 9 days of its suspension. The international oil benchmark, Brent crude, against which Nigeria's oil is priced, reverses recent losses on Wednesday, March 24, 2021, due to the fact that the ship ran aground in the Suez Canal. There are worries that the incident would tie up crude shipments, and this has given crude oil prices a boost. As at 7:35 p.m. Nigerian time on Wednesday, Brent gained $3.38 to $64.17 per barrel, while the U.S. West Texas Intermediate climbed $3.21 to $60.97 per barrel. Now, according to reports, these gains have appeared to stabilize the market from its previously slumped state. Oil broker Stephen Brannock is quoted saying, "Price The Debt Management Office has disclosed that the federal government's bonds for March worth 150 billion naira, which were auctioned on Wednesday, was oversubscribed by 183.48 billion naira. The total subscription received from investors for the bonds was 333.48 billion naira, and the auction result added that out of 82, 125 bids for the tenures 48, 88, and 176 were successful. A total of 262.1 billion naira was allotted. The DMO clarified successful bids were allotted at the marginal rate of 10.5%, 11.5%, and 12% respectively. However, the original coupon rates will be maintained. Earlier, the DMO had disclosed that the federal government would offer 150 billion naira bonds for subscription, comprising of 3 bonds worth 50 billion naira each. There's more coming up on Business Report Nigeria. I will be back after this short break. Mr. Godwin Obaseki, Edo State Governor, has promised to sustain reforms and policies that will provide an enabling environment for businesses to bloom as the state and the federal government intensify efforts for the completion of an energy park in the state. The energy park is expected to generate about 1,500 direct, indirect, and induced employment opportunities. The governor pledged support for Our primary role is to create the enabling environment for businesses to grow and thrive. We will continue to invest in infrastructure. The governor of Bayelsa State, Doye Diri, has said that the state-owned international airport is ready for commercial flight operations, while he made an unscheduled visit to the facility ahead of the expected Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority's final certification visitation scheduled for the 30th of March. The governor assured that the required facilities for the smooth takeoff of operations at the airport had been provided. He is confident that when the inspection teams from the aviation authorities come, they will be satisfied with what has been done and grant the license for commercial use of the airport. At a meeting held virtually, Flour Mills of Nigeria presented its facts behind the sustainability report, which is the flagship initiative of the Nigerian to investment. Now, in attendance were the Group Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian Exchange Group PLC, Mr. Oscar Onyema, the Group Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of Flour Mills of Nigeria, Mr. Omoboyede Olushonya, and Mr. Bola Adeko, the Divisional Head, Business Support Services of the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Let's see how it went.
For us at the exchange, it has certainly been interesting to see more companies pay attention to sustainability reporting as a business concept.
We continue to ensure that we seek and desire the best freedom to operate possible by having the best kind of relationships with communities. When we go into communities, we're looking for outgrower schemes and contract farming relationships with those communities to drive both the economic benefits for them and for us in terms of the value that they then bring to the table. And aside from that, as I alluded to earlier, we engage in both educational and health initiatives around those communities, once again, to support people.
The Minister of State for Science and Technology, Mohammed Abdullahi, has advocated a synergy among the government, academia, and industry to diversify to economic instability. Abdullahi noted that it was sad that Nigeria is troubled by instability despite its resources. He was sure that any nation that wants to diversify economically must put research and innovation at the forefront of its developmental agenda through efficient collaboration among The only available option to change this trajectory is enhancing the diversification of our dear nation's economy through application and deployment of cutting-edge research and innovation in all sectors of the economy. You're still watching Business Report Nigeria. More to come after this short break. Thank you for staying with us. A review of the 2015-2016 audited report of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, has revealed that the organization may have failed to remit revenue $97.6 billion naira in 2016. The review of the audit report was carried out by the Paradigm Leadership Support Initiative, PLSI, who stressed the need for the Public Account Committee of the National Assembly to see if the corporation has remitted the amount due since 2016. Experts noted that Section 1 Constitution stipulates that all revenue proceeds should be paid into the Federation account, and the NNPC therefore does not have any basis to deduct the operational costs from sources. Also, the audit analysis carried out on the NNPC shows that the corporation operational cost was more than the revenue contributed to the group, and the percentage of NNPC retail share of 4.06% cost is more than the 3.99% revenue contribution to the group. The chairman, the Association of Chief Audit Executives of Banks in Nigeria, ACAEBIN, Yinka Tamiayu, has called for more synergy between banks and telecommunication companies to help curb the rising electronic fraud even as e-payment gains attention. The chairman wants telecommunications firms to step up their cooperation with banks while noting that ensure that the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, and telcos are on the same page with us in realizing the dreams of safe payment systems. The banking industry is creating a lot of digital products to help the business help keep the business running, pardon me. And if you look at the bank's fraud cases that resulted in a loss of about 2.1 billion naira through technologically driven channels. He spoke further on how internal auditors must have the knowledge of technology to enable them identify gaps in their core banking applications. On Wednesday, March 24th, the Global System for Mobile Telecommunications Association, GSMA, disclosed that with accounts across the globe hitting 1.2 billion, mobile money transactions rose by 65% to an annual total of $12.7 billion in 2020. There was quick acceleration in mobile transactions during the COVID-19 pandemic because lockdown restrictions limited access to cash and financial institutions. The number of registered accounts grew by 13% globally in 2020 to more than 1.2 billion, with fast growth showing in markets where governments provided significant pandemic relief to their citizens. Justice said this year's report found that across markets, women are still 33% less likely than men to have a mobile money account, and the GSMA and its members are committed to closing this gender gap. More than $1 billion was sent and received in the form of remittances globally every month via mobile money. The National revealed on its website that it is set to implement the country's insurance industry corporate governance guidelines from June 1st, 2021. According to the Commission, the guidelines were earlier issued on March 17, 2020. NAICOM implored insurance and reinsurance companies to comply with the directives as contained in the Nigerian Code of Corporate Governance of 2018, while noting that non-compliance would be regarded as a violation of Section 49(1) of the Insurance Commission Act of 1997, which attracts a penalty. The principal objective is to ensure effective administration, regulation, supervision, and control of the insurance businesses across the country. And on that note, we end Business Report Nigeria. Thank you for watching. Do follow us on social media at TOS TV Network on Facebook, Instagram,